Welcome to Truck You Podcast. My name is Sebastian.
Jose, guys.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
So today we're going to talk about coronavirus impact on trucking. I think it's definitely impacting trucking, and I can share some experiences so far. It's been 2 weeks. We're the first week shutdown. First week of shutdown. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
We could talk about a few things. I know you can maybe if you have questions or what have you been seeing from the shop side. I mean, I can share both angles on this, but very, very interesting on what actually is happening with the trucking industry. And so maybe we'll talk about that. And any shop update, what's been
we had the counterboards done on that ISX.
The counterboards, okay,
yeah.
That's been done. That's good.
That, and we had that international with the Max Force. It was a turbo and injector harness.
He did that. That was the truck. Yeah, I'm not. It just needed a lot of work, but we did the most important thing. Very nice guy. I think he's gonna be back. He was happy, and I think the comments, and then we have that 14 liter.
14 liter, yeah, correct.
That's we'll see if he wants to move forward with that. I think we got a green light for it, but he's waiting probably for parts or something.
Yeah,
right? Not even for parts, for what's gonna happen with the freight. As far as
I guess he's not too sure.
market.
Like, I mean, he said he's gonna wait off like probably a week or two, make some money.
To make some money to do it.
Yeah.
That's totally understandable. I totally get it. Let's do. And then we got the international. The video's going today. So the podcast is coming out today, and the video is going out tonight.
Pulling in the harvester.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
4300.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. I love that video, and we'll have more content around the harvester, the 4300. So okay. Virus is impacting the trucking industry. The number one thing that I want to talk about is how, like, some of the changes that we've been seeing on the trucking side and with drivers. And the first one being the hours of service being suspended. And that's, I don't know if you're familiar with hours of service, but you had 11 hours to drive.
11 hours, right? And then 10-hour
reset,
right?
Mm-hmm. 14-hour day, and so they pretty much said, we're gonna scrap that.
Okay.
With
the
pandemic related loads, which what we've been seeing. So as far as freight volumes,
that's what I was gonna ask you too. Have you seen any more like loads going up, like more? Is it affecting the rates, or is it like the loads going cheaper?
No. So depending on what mode. So you're gonna, if you're looking, we do primarily domestic intermodal and drive-in. So on the drive-in side, if you look at the spot market, you're definitely seeing an uptick, an increase in rates.
Okay.
And that was, as of yesterday, it was 0 to 250 miles. So all the immediate, obviously, freight that needed to be delivered was being handled, and that's where the rates went up because the capacity wasn't there to move it. We have a couple of things going on. The produce season is starting, so some of the reefer loads that I saw, crazy. So the reefer is gonna probably see an uptick. It already has in
for sure
in rates, but in driving on specific lanes, it hasn't gone to intermodal yet, especially domestic intermodal. So like I said, that depends on the mode that you're servicing, and since you're gonna have rates going up and drive-in, it's gonna sooner or later bleed in, depending on how long it's gonna last.
Right?
Yeah, let's agree on that. It's not gonna stay like that.
Yeah,
there's a reason it's happening. It's because people are buying stuff out. I don't know, have you been to a store lately?
Yeah.
So have you seen what is the things that you see that are missing?
Well, toilet paper.
Yeah,
which
is crazy.
Water. But you know what? Actually, water. I mean, they were doing a limit on it now. It's 2.
They're doing a limit on
yeah,
everything, which is four. But like paper products,
paper goods. Obviously, like all the cleaning products are first thing to wipe out. As far as groceries, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's from what I've seen, everything's pretty much stocked
everything
up.
is there, or at least it's getting refilled immediately. But that's gonna come with overlapping normal demand, and when you think about it, as of what's getting bought and what disappears from shelves, it's the first things that when people started panicking and panic buying and stocking up. Not everybody got it, right? Like how many people didn't buy the toilet paper and they still need it? So they implemented the limit, but now, well, what is it gonna do in the long run to the volumes for those specific not only lanes but in general? Like are people gonna stock up and not buy anymore? Which that's probably what's gonna happen is eventually
over purchase products, and then we're gonna be like, oh.
Yeah, you don't need it, right? But at the same time, produce, people are still consuming food and still consuming fruit and veggies and things like that. So what do you see is also an uptick in deliveries, home deliveries. Amazon Fresh Market, we try to do Instacart. You know, I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I tried it out the other day.
Yeah, we've been using that, and believe it or not, we had so many issues. One of their system wasn't working properly because it was so overloaded when people were ordering stuff on Instacart. And so just a quick side note, the poor guy was sitting for 3 hours that was buying for us, and my wife was ordering it, and the issue was probably all the substitutes, right? Like they ran out of this. No, he actually got everything. He just couldn't check out because the system they have a card and he pays with the card, and the card didn't work, and the whole system just kind of froze. So he was there waiting for Instacart to get it fixed, and they couldn't fix it, and he was patiently waiting. He had other people's orders, and he was able to pay for that. For theirs, for ours that he couldn't. And I was like, that's weird. So my wife finally told him, okay, that's fine, just leave it there. And I went the next day and they kept it for us, and I just paid for it and picked it up. And nice. that was that was crazy because there were things that like missing at the store, but how it relates to trucking is it's definitely going to come down, right? We're peaking right now from what I've been seeing. We've been over 20% year over year on volumes, which is crazy how quickly that went. But that's, again, the panic buying and people just rushing out to buy all that stuff. So the lane, now what we're seeing is, as of yesterday, the long haul freight is starting to go up, right? So you see the 0 to 250, and then you have the medium lanes, which is 250 to about 800, and then you have the long haul freight, and so the mediums are kind of dropping with the local, but long haul is actually starting to pick up. So people are trying to get things at a longer distance faster, right? It's a lot faster to just get a truck and have them go to California or East Coast versus put it on a train. So that eventually might bleed in depending on the volumes, because you have to remember, even though people are buying, they're buying only specific products. They're not buying clothes,
electronics right now,
electronics and other goods that you would, is a proof of customer confidence, So that's so the uptick in the certain specific, obviously, products is compensating for lack of movement at all and lack of sales in a different one, right? So that's why the hours of service were suspended, and I've been not taking advantage of it just because we usually come back and we do everything within 11 hours, majority of my fleet. But at the same time, like things like CDL renewals, I don't know if you knew that whoever
had an expired
license.
Pushed to
but it's only, so you have to be specific here. By February 29th, it needed to be valid. So if it's expiring, if it's expiring more than between February 29th and like March, then you're gonna be
exempt, right?
It's gonna be postponed till June 30th. I believe. I have a note here. Yeah, June 30th. And medical cards as well. So both, if you're expiring, you'll be fine if you're driving with both of those. So but that's good. That's definitely helping out. And I know, I know some guys that they've been heavily pulling COVID freight, and it's a lot of work. I mean, the guys are just literally driving, as much as they can, and
pushing themselves.
Yeah. So, but that's keeping the America alive right now. It's the big dilemma is obviously Amazon's doing very well. Yeah. And a lot of those delivery guys, but at the same time they keep hiring. Did you see the numbers they need to hire
of drivers, right?
Not only drivers, the people at the warehouses. They keeps hiring.
I was gonna ask you, did you notice any of your drivers come across any like unloading or loading times, like taking longer to load, or none of that?
Everything. Depends on what product you're moving, but we've seen
detention wise. Like, are you getting any detention, like your drivers?
Yeah, you could see that, but it all depends too. Like some of them are a lot of drop and hooks. You just drop it, and
that's good.
Yeah, and then again, it depends on what we're hauling, but I would have to look into the detention. That's a good question. I haven't noticed any uptick in detention payouts we had, but I will.
It just came to mind because I was hearing some of the places were short-staffed. Some people calling off sick, obviously,
yeah. I think there's a lot of language right now. Hopefully, leadership teams and management, obviously you want anybody that feels bad and that's afraid to keep them home, but that's what's keeping the shelves stacked. And we'll talk about it in a little bit how logistics, how transportation is important to a market, to economy, and to trade. So definitely, I understand there's people not willing to come in and risk, but at the same time, I think a lot of those so much respect not only for our obviously truck drivers, because even our guys, we've been coming up with things like I didn't share with you before, but we've started doing bonuses. We've started doing things for them that, as much as I can. I'm still a small company, but I know other companies do big things like JB Hunt. That's $500 bonus, which is a lot, right? But big company, it's great they're doing it. It was a one-time payment that they did, and that's showing appreciation to appreciation. And I think every company should do that, even though companies might struggle soon, right? Because if the volumes come down, there's going to be a lot of trucks sitting down and drivers sitting. So it's a very delicate topic, but it's definitely understandable that some guys don't want to come. But I have not seen a lot of detention. I'll definitely tap into it today. Look at the payouts and the payroll. Will it put drivers at risk? What do you think?
I believe so.
You think?
Well, I mean, as long as the truck stops are keeping up with the hygiene in the rest areas, restrooms.
Yeah. A lot of trucks have redesigned the way they're actually
letting the guys in.
People. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was interested in that.
Yeah, too. Some of them have, and I've been hearing that from different sources. So there's definitely different truck stops, different places do different things. And that one, somebody told me, some of them have like registers obviously closed off with windows, and then you can still go in, but there's the restaurants are closed, and it's just traffic into the bathrooms, and then out, pay and out, and everybody's strongly encouraged to obviously use digital pay and not come in and just limit the social distance. I mean, limit the connection with somebody, the amount of people in. But at the same time, I mean, in the beginning of it, I have to check in right now. What's the situation with rest areas? I know rest areas were shutting down, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because now you need trucks moving freight, and if they can refill there
there was a shortage you were talking about on fuel, right?
Yeah, I've heard from a customer of ours at the shop that they were stuck midway to I didn't ask him what state was it, but they ran out of fuel and are waiting for fuel, so his trucks were stuck. Yeah.
How about as far as fuel prices? You see any fluctuating on that?
Well, what's happening with the prices, they're dropping significantly.
Definitely on the gas, but like on the
diesel,
yeah.
same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's gonna pull it, even though it's more. It's still gonna drag it with it.
Yeah,
there's just not enough demand right now in general, and there's a war going between Russia and Saudi Arabia, so it's driving the prices down like crazy. And that's bad for rates, obviously, and bad for trucking. People say it's good. It is good, but at the same time, you're I don't want to get into rates right now and how it works, but it's if you're looking at a trucking company, you want to have higher fuel surcharge.
Okay. Yeah, because you're going to be getting that back in your payroll, right?
Yeah.
As far as the driver.
Yeah. So. Not even as a driver, it's just better. So there's, it's a double-edged sword, but I don't want to talk about fuel right now. It's more about how the truck stops and how it's impacting in general the flow of goods, and how important literally trucking is to what I've observed to trade and to, which I've got this chart we're going to talk about in a little bit, and how that can either make or break a market or a trade agreement, or even, let's say I go buy from you something, right? And you're in New York, I'm in Chicago.
Yeah.
And if the rates are too high, that's not going to happen, right? If it's not going to make sense for you to ship me that product that I want, the trade is not going to happen. So transportation can literally break or make a deal, a market especially. And if you look at that, so how does that impact trucking in like what's happening? It's like, well, if we have a lot of drivers go and call off work and not show up to work, and then there's more products, more volumes, there's literally not enough capacity to haul everything.
There's gonna be a shortage.
Yeah, there's gonna be shortage of things, and you're gonna have to choose what is more important, right? And then now it's there's three different layers, which is to a market, right? And I don't want to make it too detailed and complicated, but you have a strategy, tactical provisions, and then logistics are three elements of that market. And then so what goes into strategy is law and order, and then safety and security is on top, right? That, like, you have laws and orders in place, and safety and security, that the deal can happen when you have those in place.
Okay.
But then the second element to that is water, food, shelter, medicine, and energy, right? You need all those resources to be able to get to have a solid market. But the market's not going to exist without communication, information, and transportation. And so those three elements are important, and at the basis of that is transportation, information, and communication. So we have to communicate between each other, and then you have to be able to have enough information, communication, and then transportation is the third element, which is on the I'm making it sound complicated, but on the basis of the trade.
Right at the bottom, right?
Yeah, of the market.
Yeah.
So with that said, is now we're seeing how important transportation is, and there's a lot of talk about, well, drivers are so important, and we love drivers, and it's very hypocritical in a lot of ways, because a lot of shippers now, when they obviously need drivers, they're super nice to them, but when the market is normal and flat, a lot of places just treat drivers like shit, and that's what pisses me off, is like, how do you, like, until you obviously lose something, or
that's when you appreciate what what they do for you.
Yeah, and that's why the whole reason behind us doing this podcast and talking about trucking in general is like, there's just companies that don't care, and there's no facilities they for drivers that, and I don't want to dwell on this too much, but it's like, yeah, truck drivers are important. Just accept that fact and remember that throughout the entire
not just through a pandemic, but throughout the year.
Yeah. So definitely, it's nice to have drivers be appreciated and not have shippers now treat them like crap.
Yeah.
And that should have been the case all the time. Do you have anything else you want to ask?
Have you had any drivers calling off or just like
scared
to
out? Yeah, so I shoot videos for them. I try to do it often right now with informing what's happening, so they know they're staying informed. And some of them would call off, but not a lot. The good thing about it is that the good thing right now is that being a truck driver is an isolated job.
Yeah, it's an isolated job, so it's
you can manage not to,
as long as you keep your truck clean inside,
Yeah, which is, you've been noticing how much I've been actually cleaning everybody's, how I've been delegating that to.
But it's also the driver's responsibility to keep it clean. I mean, we can clean it out, but it's up to them to keep it clean also.
Yeah, it is, and
I mean, I would imagine you're stuck in there for 12 hours, 11 hours a day. I mean, who wouldn't want to be?
Yeah, some guys just don't care, but I'm just doing it across the board anyway. I think I've seen a truck yesterday. I really didn't want to get into that and into the truck, and it was like, all right, I'll just clean it up. And it's like if you own a shop and now we have the capacity to do it, I'll do it. Yes, it should be driver's responsibility. You don't want to drive in a garbage truck, and
especially not in times like this.
Yeah,
right.
So, yeah, but we had some drivers call off, and that's totally fine. They immediately pretend after some time that they're fine. I'm like, no, if you really feel bad, that's fine if you stay, right?
I got another question. You had any DOT
inspections?
Yeah, inspections right now?
I have seen some. Nothing crazy, to be honest with you, but I wouldn't think. It's too early to tell because I've seen some before the lockdown.
Okay.
And I haven't seen none yet. Today is Friday. I haven't seen any yet this week. So, no. But I wouldn't say. I don't think.
You don't think they're picking on? Oh no, that's what I was gonna ask. Scales open right now, but you're not too sure.
I would have to. I'm not sure about that.
How about the whole overweight? I heard there was an exemption on that too. Like.
Ooh, that's a good one. I know they increased.
It's at 88. I
yeah, but I have to get the number. I'm not sure about the number, but I know it's higher now.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, like I said, the drivers can be isolated pretty easily. It's we here also around the offices not only clean up, but now you have the driver's room that they can come in and pick up whatever they need to pick up. If they have anything, pick up everything. Happens digitally anyway. So I think we touched on a few different things. Is there anything anyone want to throw in? I'm looking at my notes here right now.
How about any postponed payments from brokers or anything like? Financially, they're not doing too good, or what do you think? Have you came across that by any chance?
Like our customers?
Yeah, customers.
Well, on the shop side, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But on the freight, on the transportation side, yeah. You also, but they also realize that if they're in need of putting out
the goods
freight, they need to pay because the trucks are not going to show up, and more than ever now everybody needs to get paid quickly so they can keep moving. And if you delay payments, it's just going to hurt everybody. It doesn't make sense. So I don't but at the same time, like if you're looking at their staff is now at home working from home, you would think the efficiency the office is gonna go down a little bit just because you don't have the necessary tools to do it properly. But yeah, I've with customers more on the shop side than yeah, we've been fixing trucks, not getting paid. But that's a good question. Yeah, there's definitely a delay. We're trying to stay on top of it, even though now there's so much unknown in the markets that it's like you really don't know how to act and how to pay, which you should pay everything the way obviously you were before, but now people are like, okay, am I gonna need cash tomorrow for who knows what?
Yeah.
Right? How much worse is it gonna get? But as long as we keep the trucks running, and I think Amazon is doing well. I'm very curious to see how they're going to solve the problem with a lot of people working at those warehouses, because that's a lot of guys in one place.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, that's what I was thinking to myself. 6 feet. I mean, that's a lot of people with easily what per shift. I would say $250. I would say, I don't know. I'm not.
I have no idea
those,
how it works, but I know they I don't know if they can keep the social distancing to 6 feet between each other, but look how important it is to the lifeline of everybody. Yeah. Like, you're ordering everything from Amazon, and you, like, if they now slow down, how are you going to get your things?
There's going to be more people going out to the stores.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then you're going to have more. Yeah. Which, yes, I mean, people would have to go to the stores, but then now you're creating crowds. Yeah. And locally.
Defeats the purpose of the whole lockdown.
Yeah. So it's very interesting, because now is the big question of do you let the economy collapse and keep the 2% of population that's in the risk group that's at risk, or like how do you tackle that? It's a big problem to solve right now for the government and the president to be able to, like, well, the whole global economy is collapsing right now, and how do you
approach it?
Yeah. Because
since it's the first time anybody has seen such thing, I mean,
since the Spanish flu, I've been reading it's worse than everything that's been the SARS in 2003.
Yeah.
So definitely interesting as far as how that's going to get resolved. Are we going to get below do you know what the getting the curve down? What that's all about? Why people are staying at home? Have you heard about that?
No.
So you have the capacity of the health system, of the hospitals, and how we can handle sick people. So the capacity of our healthcare, like if you look at it's spiked pretty quickly, so they can't keep up. So what, like, China did,
ICU, like all the intensive care units, everything's pretty much
yes. So that's why you hear a lot of the Ford and big companies, 3M, making masks, and not only masks but also respirators right now, because they can't handle it. There's too many cases, and even though that 2% is at risk, that you want to treat everybody that has the symptoms, so it just spiked so high that it's like the healthcare cannot handle it. So now, in order to get below the curve, meaning
we got to keep people at home.
We got to keep people at home to stop the spread. So less people show up to hospitals and wanting to be treated.
Well, also I was hearing there was a lot of people going in just for, I mean, they were just coughing and they're like, oh, I got the COVID.
Yeah, everybody's
overreacting.
Freak out. Yeah, that's the running joke that's why the toilet paper is getting bought out. But
how about that one joke you sent me the other day?
Which one?
What do you call a Spanish guy, or what was that one?
I don't remember.
The guy was running out of toilet paper.
Oh, Do you want to say it?
How'd it go? How'd it go?
I'm blanking out right now. I don't know why. I've said so many
inside jokes since.
Yeah, inside jokes. But what was it?
It was like, what do you call a Spanish guy that ran out of toilet paper?
Yeah.
You starting to...
Yeah. I remember that. But do you remember that or no?
I remember you sent it to me. Let me look it up really quick because I know you sent it to me. It was a good one. I got home and I was like, oh my god.
There's a lot of jokes, and that's definitely a topic not to joke about. But you can't all the things that are circling in the internet are funny.
Yeah, you sent me. What do you call a Spanish man who ran out of toilet paper during lockdown?
I remember that. Okay.
Hispanic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a serious problem, but you need to stay positive. I think we've been tackling day by day, both at the shop and the trucking company, is just taking it day by day, man.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other option than just staying positive and trying to keep spirits up and look to the future, because that's not the new norm. I think we're going through tough times, but if we stay positive and just stay healthy, and obviously it's going to change the way we interact with each other.
Yeah, definitely. After this is over, it's definitely going to change.
No more hugging and shaking hands and things like that. It's definitely going to not, people will be very cautious around connection with other people. But you need to stay positive. I think we have to, and we will, and we'll definitely shoot. Maybe we'll see in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll touch on that topic again. We're at 30 minutes right now. I think we touch on many different things, and yeah, let's just tackle day by day and be here at the end side of this, because there's going to be a lot of good things happening with what the government's doing with the stimulus package, and how they're trying to get ready and prop and have the businesses hire everybody. But yeah, let's stay positive and we'll get through this.
Yeah, we'll get through this.
Thank you. Talk to you guys. Subscribe, comment, share, and we'll talk to you soon.